I think there's only one or two across the 150 years that they've been open.
They just take a big can of spray paint and go, put the X over it.
Bob, leave that one alone. I kind of like it.
Like how they show now in the movies when the infected in zombie movies are locked in a place, the big X over the door, don't open it. But we're going to get into the big gambling scandal in the NBA today. But this bit of news just in, Bleacher Report and a couple of other basketball sources are reporting. And remember, this is
it's not a story.
This is reported by a lot of sources now. Cailtin Clark is nearing a, quote, lucrative 8-figure deal with Nike and is set to receive her own signature shoe. Now, Shams Charania has it as well, so this means she's going to get a $10 million deal with Nike and get her own signature shoe. Can we stop complaining about her salary now and the salaries of the WNBA players? Because that's all the last 24 hours has been. Since the draft happened, since Cailtin Clark goes number one, it's like people said, oh, hey, the women don't get paid as much. I didn't know. This is what they get? Yes, it's low. Is it embarrassingly low? Yeah, it is low. It's way lower than you think it would be for a professional player. But it's also the WNBA. It's a 40-game league. It's how it is. It's why a lot of players play overseas. Would the salaries, should they be higher? Sure they should. But you know what? More people have to go to games. More people have to buy the merch. And salaries will go up. So but to see everybody lose their minds, I was like, they're not getting paid as well. I can't believe it. And people that just have no idea about sports that are weighing in and saying, well, obviously the women need to be paid as much as the men. No, this is not an equal payment kind of thing. We're being this is the WNBA, which is a league that is not nearly as look, it isn't. It's not nearly as powerful as the NBA, other sports leagues. Is it low? Yeah. But again, this is why Cailtin Clark is here, to shine a light on this. And if more people watch and more people go to games and more people buy stuff, guess what? Everybody's salary gets raised. In this way, she's like Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods got to the PGA Tour, what do we see in the last 20 years? Purses have doubled in nearly every event. So much so, get the Live Golf Tour. Hey, take $100 million, come play for us. Every single golfer in the world should show up at Tiger Woods' house at some point and go, hey, dude, thank you for the last 20 years, because now, the living I can make, I can't believe that I can make double what I'm making before, all because Tiger Woods showed up to the PGA Tour and he played and he won. Every single golfer should get on their knees and say, Tiger, thank you so much, because now look at this, look at what's happened over the last 20 years. This is why Cailtin Clark is here. This is what you expect from the WNBA. More people are going to watch. More people will buy merch. We know they're buying merch. Her jersey sold out in less than 10 minutes when she was made the number one pick. This is what she's going to do. Every single person, if you want to see women's sports succeed, I'll tell you that, get behind Cailtin Clark. She is the show. Lots of other players are great. Doesn't mean I'm not saying other players aren't. Angel Reese is a great player. We've seen other players come in. Camila Cardoso is a great player. Other great players in the WNBA as well. Cailtin Clark is the show. She is Shaq. She is Tiger Woods. She is the one that, hey, people are going to come to see me, and I am going to lift what rising tide lifts all boats. She's the rising tide. She will lift all the boats, and you're going to see more money for people in WNBA, more relevance, more television coverage, more merch, more everything because of her. Anybody who's not behind her is just dumb. If you want to see women's sports succeed, you get behind her, because that's what she is. And she's someone that is not shying away from it. She knows, I have a big responsibility on my shoulders here. Yes, she gets the big signature shoe deal. She gets anything. You know why? Because she's the most popular college basketball player in women's history. She's the leading scorer in women's history. She owned the sport of college basketball. This is what happens when you go to the pros. You get shoe deals. It's how it works for everybody else. Everybody's got to get behind Kate. If you want women's sports to succeed, you want the WNBA, you get behind Cailtin Clark, because that's where to go. Because if you don't like the salaries where they are, get behind her, watch her succeed, and you'll see the salaries go up.
Well, we've been talking about this for a while now, you and I on the show, even going back to the rise of things last year with Cailtin Clark and the phenomenon that began during last year's tournament, is that, people complain, it's like going to a party, right? This was the analogy we used and have all along. Right? I might be late, right? Might not be getting there. You started at 8, whatever. It's kind of open, whatever, and I show up at 9:30. How long are you going to be mad that I showed up at 9:30? All right, I missed that hour and a half, but I'm here now. And that's the WNBA argument a lot of folks are having and being pissed about this. Like, the reality is, a chicken and egg kind of thing. Should there have been more investment at some point? Maybe. But was the market there for it? And we could argue that till we blue in the face. But you're not going to just hand out massive deals before there's proof of concept from a revenue standpoint. That's what we've been talking about for this, right? The Women's Soccer League talked about the private funding, a couple with Mahomes and others jumping in eventually, but they built a stadium in Kansas City. It's a state-of-the-art facility for women's soccer, and that's the intent, right? Not multi-purpose, not, something that was built as a baseball stadium and you go play at. Like, we saw it built for women's soccer. And now you have the WNBA, this kind of deal and the endorsements that are flowing through the star power. Paige Beckers is in the next class, right? And you have this thing that hopefully from the collegiate side, you gain momentum. But I'm looking at tickets here. They're playing at the Pyramid when they come out here instead of the Crypt for the Indiana game. Get-in's $300. Now, it's 5,000 seats versus an 18,000 seat arena, but you look around the league, you've got a couple of teams that are sold out, and Indiana tickets are almost impossible to get. Right? You might get that oddball single seat if you're looking to get something for face. Otherwise, the secondary market is active. The Fanatics thing, they just have to figure out their distribution because they're a joke at this point because those jerseys are not going to ship until August. Season's going to be done before people are going to get their Cailtin Clark jerseys the way this is.
But is that really shocker, or is that kind of the norm, what we've seen with Nike and Fanatics over the last couple of months?
But that's what I mean, though.
They've
Fanatics,
biffed everything.
Like
they biffed the baseball uniform.
How did you not anticipate this? They should have been ordered 4 months ago.
Everything is wrong.
It was inevitable, like the Thanos snap, for crying out loud.
Everything is wrong.
But you're not going to get these literally till after the season. Hell, there's a couple of Major League Baseball teams that aren't seeing their jerseys that are actually official jerseys to be worn in games for another month. So, just lunacy as that goes. But, a 10-figure deal. And we're seeing things about patches being sold on jerseys for $3 million. Like, the money's flowing. And the TV opportunities are going to be there. What do they say? 36 games will be televised, right, for Indiana.
They're going to televise practices.
Before it's all said and done, you're right. But folks being mad about the salary, this is not new. This is not a new discussion. If the money flows and you can show on the books, there's lots of advertisers. And it's like we talked about yesterday. Taylor Swift brought a bunch of random, for NFL purposes, random new businesses and market segmentations to the Super Bowl, right? You had makeup ads. You didn't have makeup ads before. You had here's another drug with a bunch of side effects that you need to think about, and here's another beer ad. No, now you've got makeup ads. Now you've got clothing companies, all of that come on board. With the WNBA, the opportunity is there. Everybody's going to start eating from the trough.
This is why she's here. This is why I get it. They're low, but this is why she's here. And like I said, she's like Magic and Larry. Now she's like Tiger Woods. Yeah. She's got a lot on her plate.
Can I put a request in for Nike, though?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Can they make shoes that are a little wider?
They do make wide. I get some Nikes.
Can you get some now?
Yeah, I get some Nike.
Yeah, because I had to get basically Krusty the Clown like size shoes to get a pair of customs years ago.
Dude, your orthotics work in Nikes?
Wear orthotics.
What do you mean? You can hear you coming from down the hall, dude.
Orthotics. Just stop. X at Alvada Fresca, X at Swollen Dome, the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. Oh yeah, but in all this, she's getting $10 million at least new shoe, but no one's going to pay attention to Cailtin Clark. No. Now she's joining the NBA, WNBA.
She should have stayed at Iowa.
Nobody's paying attention. Right.